Hello there, it's Belinda Weaver here, and I am really excited. As I always start these things, I'm really excited to be talking to some Confident Copywriting members today. So far, I have talked to members in the UK, I have talked to members in the US, and today I'm going home and I'm talking to some Aussies. And I've got Mirna, Segal, Rananda Rich, and Zoe Hurd who are going to be joining me. And I'm going to be asking each of them about their business and about their work, but also about their experience in confident copywriting. What's that, you ask? Good question. So Confident Copywriting is my private coaching group for aspiring and working copywriters. It's all about building up your skills as a writer, but also your skills as a business owner and your confidence too. So there's lots of resources, templates, guides, expert interviews, coaching from me. We do hot seats. We talk a lot about mindset and lifestyle balance because, like we have today, a lot of us are doing this around young kids, and we were just chatting about how these amazing women have just finished the school drop-off and are rushing back home to jump on this call for me. So thank you, ladies, in advance. But I'm going to kick it off, and I'm going to welcome Mirna on. Hello, and thank you. Hello. So now that we're here, through drop-off, let's do it. Okay. A great example of us all juggling family and working, which is why copywriting works so well for us. But firstly, before we jump in, tell us who you work with, what kind of work that you do, and how long you were a copywriter before you joined Confident Copywriting.
Cool. So my name is Mirna. I'm a copywriter. I do websites, emails, and sales pages for people in the health and wellness industry. And I was writing for probably about a year before I joined, but that was kind of split up because I had my daughter in between that time, or within that kind of chucked in there somewhere. Yes. And before that, I was writing content for about 6 years. So that was like my main thing. And then actually not long before I joined, I had got my first like year-long paid contract for content, and I was like, yeah, this is so awesome. And then it dawned on me how little money you make with content. So then I got into copywriting.
I love that. Yeah, often the content writing is like the gateway into copywriting because there's lots of work out there for it, but there's definitely a cap on how much you can earn. And so what I wanted to ask you about before we get into confident copywriting, I have really, really loved the alignment shift that I've seen you make in your marketing. And can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, when I started, I was, I can't remember what my niche was. I think I was doing like eco brands or sustainability or something. And then like I changed from that to, like coaches and course creators, because you think that that's what everyone has to do. So you just go with that. Yeah. And then like over the, everyone does that. They're like, oh, I don't want to write for these people actually. And then I spoke to a business coach actually, and he was like, look, it seems like you're more aligned in this space. And I completely changed to health and wellness because that was like it was a passion of mine anyway, but I don't think I really felt confident really stepping into that. And so I did. And what I noticed was as I was writing for those people, the approach that we take, or that a lot of people take in the conversion copywriting world, isn't aligned with the kind of writing that they want. So I changed, and I've kind of shown that it is possible to sell and to, I mean, of course I'm not the first one, but showing that it is possible to sell without being sleazy, without picking on pain points, without, without like really making people feel crap about themselves before you sell something to them. So yes, that was my whole change, and it's been really well received. And actually I got a client recently, she saw one of my reels and I was just talking about pain points, and she just like hired me, like didn't ask for any samples or anything, just like, yeah, no, I've worked with someone in the past before, and they sent me something, and it was very like just direct sales marketing, and she's like, it was not usable at all, and she's like, I just want whatever you've got, like let's just do it. So yeah.
Yeah, and I realized, and I didn't tell you I was going to ask you about that, but the reason I love it so much is asking those questions. It's really easy to get into the copywriting business and go, okay, I can see the paths of the copywriters around me, and I can see the tracks, and I can see the steps, so I'm just going to do that. And that I'm not saying that's not a problem, but I really love the way you've been asking questions and challenging the common path and the common tools and going, you know what, this doesn't fit for me. And kind of, I love the conversations we've had in the group of like going, is it just me, or is this a thing? And a lot of other members going, no, I've actually felt that too. And I wanted to highlight this idea of, even in an industry like copywriting, you don't have to follow the path of everyone else. And I love the way you're sort of checking in with your own values, and you're clearly having clients resonate with that message. And I just wanted to celebrate it because I think it's amazing.
Well, so the group I just want to quickly mention about the group, because I was kind of slightly going down a different angle. I wanted to do the conscious communication and, you know, ethical copywriting, but I wasn't really using that as my angle. I was just like, look, I'm just not going to write like in that way anymore. And someone in the group asked about copies, one of the other courses. And then we had this big chat, and it was actually through that thread in that group, and a couple of them reached out to me and they were like, that is so refreshing. And then I sent them links to people that I've learned from, and, you know, I was like, yeah, like, let's all learn this way. And it was basically through a conversation group that I was like, this is actually my new angle. So that was,
love it.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I love that there's not one way to learn, and there's not one way to write. And one of the things that I really hope people watching this is you choose your group based on the vibe of the group. And I want people to listen to members and go, that's a kind of vibe that I like. And it's not for everyone, and that's okay. That's completely okay. And it really came out of that thread as well, where we could have this open conversation about the industry, and it works for some people, it doesn't work for others, and we're all just trying to find our way through so that we can do work that we feel good about as well.
Absolutely.
So what were you looking for when you were looking for a group, like a support group, coaching group, a membership? What was the challenge, or what was on your list that you were looking for?
To be honest, I wasn't looking for a group. So what happened was I joined the copywriting masterclass, and you gave us access. I had that time that there was like the short access, and after the 3 months, it was like the support group that I didn't know I needed. Like, I was in there, and it was so obvious why it's not possible to do it by yourself. I mean, it is, but it's really hard. And in those 3 months, it was like, you just see like people that you think have really successful businesses, or, you know, that have like everything sorted, and they're still asking questions. They're still asking for feedback. They're still, you know, they're still just helping each other. And you realize that it's not, you know, you against the world trying to set up this business and, you know, trying to like, you know, make something all by yourself. Like, there's a community, and they are so helpful. And I mean, after that, it was just no brainer. So I wouldn't have even been certain. I didn't even realize that probably this existed, or that, So it was just. I love it.
And you've been there from the beginning, like a founding member, which I appreciate so much. But yeah, I love it. Like, it's a shortcut, and it's the smart shortcut. It's not cheating at all. It's definitely smart. So go on. Just too excited.
In that short time, I just couldn't believe how, even just getting reviews from the group, you know, you put something up, and just like within an hour, like, you're a better copywriter. It was like,
oh, good.
Yeah, I just can't explain it. Just what that does to your confidence, just having people go, hey, like, what about this way? And you're like, of course. And it's not in a horrible way or anything. It's not like, well, you're an idiot for writing it that way. It was like, hey, like, you know, I tried this with the client. It's so supportive, and yeah, I just love it so much.
I love it. So that's perfect. So what would you say is a win that you've had since being in the group? Like, and then it might be a financial win, or a client, or just a feeling, like you've mentioned, confidence.
Yeah. Well, I would say confidence is the feeling. So I've definitely started charging way more money. So when I started, for reference, the blog post that I was charging was $150 a post. And when I did that, I was like, whoa, I am making it big. Like, I thought it was such a big deal. And then afterwards.
And that's how we all start. There's no, you know, you've got to celebrate those small steps forward.
Yeah. But then when I, just after being in the group for a little bit and just seeing how much even just how much other people charge and how they approach things, and you know, how you can charge so much more just having a process, you know, like having a proper brief template, having a like a step-by-step, showing clients how you work, and automatically you can charge more because you know what you're doing. But I'd say, yeah, confidence is the main thing in so many areas. Confidence to charge more, confidence to write better, confidence to even to accept jobs. Like there are a couple of jobs that I was like, oh crap, like how am I going to do this? And just knowing, even if I don't go to the group, knowing that they're there and I can either just ask for feedback or just reach out to a couple. And I've done that. I've even paid other people and you for pick your brain sessions. Like it's such a community where you can just ask for heaps of free stuff, feedback from each other, but you can also just like, you know, just get more like in-depth stuff. And yeah, so confidence for sure.
I love that, because you know it's really easy to talk about upping your rates, like charge your worth. And you're like, well, what does that mean? And so I love that you're talking about it's the confidence of having a process. It's the confidence in your writing skills getting better. It's the confidence in being able to explain things because you've had that sounding board of people who are like, you know, oh, here's a couple of lines that I've used that works. That confidence lets you say numbers that are bigger than you thought were possible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm going to bring Rananda on. So thank you, Mirna. I'll bring you back on at the end. Don't worry. All right. So this is fancy tech here we're doing. Hi, Rananda. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really pleased that you were able to join me today, because we've had some fantastic chats on recent coaching calls about some big things clicking in your business world. But before we dig into that, can you introduce yourself to everyone? What kind of writing do you do? Who do you write it for? And how long were you a copywriter before you joined coaching copywriting? Confident copywriting. I should know.
So my name's Rananda Rich, and I founded the Ink Rat, which is my copywriting and writing business. And I founded that in 2015 when I discovered copywriting. And I was pregnant with my second child. So I did a whole bunch of copywriting training and courses and accreditations and things like that. But I went back to my role after having my second child, and I worked in corporate 3 days a week and landed a massive ghostwriting contract and wrote a book with someone. But all the time since 2015, I've been learning and reading and practicing copywriting. And I went full time 18 months ago. So in December 2019, I left the corporate world, and yay, January 2020, good timing. Went full time with the Ink Rat, and again, still using a combination of ghostwriting, editing, and copywriting. But I actually think those three work really well together. So I joined Confident Copywriting as I went full time, because I knew I didn't want to do it all by myself, and I knew that it was going to be worthwhile. Like when you're working in an office, when you're working in a business, you've got finance down the corridor, and you've got IT when your screen, you know, messes up, and you've got sales and marketing upstairs, when you become solo, you internalize all of those functions, and it can be incredibly overwhelming. And what I really like about Confident Copywriting in particular is having all of the support of the friends walking with you as you go down the path of internalizing all these massive amount of functions, where you think you're just going to write all day, but actually you've also got to kind of do admin and finance and choose things and buy things and sell things.
Yep, absolutely. And look after your own mindset as well.
Yeah.
To keep yourself moving forward. Oh, that's good. And what were you looking for? Like you've talked about, you knew you couldn't do it alone, but what were you specifically looking for in a group?
It's what we've kind of said, what's already been mentioned a couple of times is confidence. So you kind of intuitively know what you should be doing, because we all bring a lot of experience to our copywriting careers. And that's, I think, the beauty of coming to copywriting for me later, is I've got 20 years of corporate life behind me and a whackload of experience. But sometimes when normally when you're working in a business, you have a manager reviewing what you're doing, or someone has to check something, or someone has to sign off. You don't do those anymore. You have to do that yourself. And being part of a group, you can ask the questions, validate what you're doing, get the cheerleader squad behind you to confirm that what you're doing is right. And most of the time, your intuition is correct. And if it's not, you get the sound check. You get the sounding board.
Yes. And it's so useful to go, I can tweak this and improve it. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But also that, yes, I was on the right track, back myself, because every time you have that little moment, you back yourself just a little bit more the next time. And I love that you mentioned the cheer squad, because it's not a thing, but it's just recently on a coaching call, one of the members, Erin, announced that she was quitting her full-time job and going full-time as a copywriter, and the eruption of celebration and support on the call just filled me up for days. And just everyone being there when you need to have a rant and when you have a tricky situation, but also going, let's celebrate, go you. And I love the culture of celebration that we have.
Yeah.
And
totally.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you specifically about is something you said recently is, and it was about showing up and the rewards you've had, not just in Confident Copywriting, but in other groups, how kind of easier it is to get the benefits because you've been showing up more regularly. And I wondered if you could talk about that just briefly.
Look, there is nothing I would like more than to say nothing and passively absorb information, and magically things become successful. And I think that's part of the reason why copywriting is actually so great, because what you're doing is you're speaking on behalf of other people rather than necessarily yourself. So all the work that you do is really for other people to help them speak their truths and their stories and showcase their products. And I actually find it quite a nice little thing to hide behind. And actually, so when I joined the group, I thought, I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to listen and learn. And I really didn't think I had a right even to have a voice in the group, because I was so new to copywriting as a genuine full-time proper business. But what I have found is that the more I interact and the more I get to know people, actually the more I am finding my own voice, and that it's actually quite I have things to say. And it's giving me the confidence to go and talk to clients in a different way. It's giving me the confidence to back myself when they question a method or a technique or why we do something. So I'm finding that, especially in the last 3, 4, 5 months, that I should have been doing this a long time ago, but I needed to take those steps to get there. And this has been a safe space to do it.
I love that, because we can't live in the space of should. It's like so many things in our life. The best time to start was 10 years ago, but the best time to start is right now. And I think it's really important, because I'm a lurker too in groups that I'm in, and I'm just I'll watch everyone else participating and I'll learn from that. But interacting, there's bing bongs going off everywhere here. Interacting and introducing yourself and talking, this is all networking skills that are like a muscle, and the more you do it bit by bit, and we're doing it online, but this will absolutely serve you as you go into face-to-face events, to just own that space of, my name's Rananda and I'm a copywriter, and it just makes it easier. And as you said on our call recently, it's not only easier, you're not only getting the benefits, but you're getting leads as well, as people are like, oh, I know her, I've got something that I think she can help me with. And that's one of the real benefits. If you're joining a group, get in there and get involved, because people start remembering who you are, and that's when the good stuff happens.
Totally.
And so let's talk about, I think we might have already talked about things, but wins that you've had since being in the group, even just one.
I know I've had loads. I've had so many things in the group. For a start, I revamped my website. It was awful. My website was terrible when I joined. Totally revamped it, but using your guidelines, and also looking at other people's websites in the group. There's a real standard that we can aspire to that I probably wouldn't aim for if I was just by myself.
Yes.
The other ones is, I don't think anyone's ever turned down a proposal that I have submitted to them. And I think this is because I use a template, which obviously we tailor it to the specific circumstances. It's just very logical, and it sets things out, and it helps. The proposal becomes a qualification tool. So actually we do the pre-qualification, but because I know the proposal and what we cover, it's a really good tool for formalizing work that I've won. And then the other thing is, I had my best month ever last month in April.
Yes.
Like biggest cash flow, biggest invoicing. So again, that's all this ripple effect of, again, taking the leads, improving the standard, and keeping on learning. So there's so much. Like, I now look at my revamped website from 6 months ago, and I know now I need to revamp it all over again because I've learned so much in the last 6 months. But accepting that that's part of the process, and accepting that we all feel like that, and it's a universal truth that we always need to be updating and improving it. So loads of wins all the time, every month.
All the wins. I love that. And I feel like your journey and my journey have a lot of parallels as well, of that I'm just going to keep taking steps forward.
Yeah.
And it's not like that, oh, we see the sexy headlines. I was broke and now I'm earning 10K a month. And all in just 2 weeks. And well, yeah, no, that's not really how it happens for me and a lot of other people. And so my journey has been very much like yours. I'm gonna keep learning, I'm gonna keep progressing, and I'm gonna figure stuff out with the help of other people and just keep doing it. So that's why I love your story. So thank you very much for letting me ask about that. All right. Well, Zoe Hurd's going to be joining us in a minute, but I'm going to bring Mirna back on while so I've just caught her like mid-drink, so we can quickly talk about some of the aspects of the group. What would you say is a favorite resource of yours, or at least a resource that's had a big impact? And Rananda, I'll go with you first. So something, you mentioned the proposal already. Is that the one?
So I would say partly the templates and the guidelines, but I would say the live chat every month. Something, and I tell you the reason for that is it stretches me beyond what I'm capable of. I remember one of the first ones I went into. I was sitting there and I thought, I don't know what anyone's talking about. I am totally green at doing this, and now I'm like talking to my own clients going, but who is your customer and what is it that you provide to them? And I have the confidence to understand what I should be aspiring to aim for, and this despite doing accredited copywriting training and spending hours and weeks studying it. There is something about seeing it in practice and doing it in practice, and joining the live chats and being able to ask questions and listen in that moment, I find incredibly valuable.
That's awesome. And one of the big things I've noticed over the months, I should say, is rather than just watching and listening, you're now going, I've got something to add to that, which I love so much. And I love all the members piling in, because I'm not the only one with advice here. We've got all different levels of copywriters with all different experiences and clients who can go, oh, I tried this and it worked really well, which is perfection. Mirna, what about you? A resource that's had an impact on you? Oh, you're kind of frozen. Oh, there you go, I think.
I choose any again?
Yes.
Yeah, I keep freezing, sorry. But
that's all right. Let's take with it.
So I mean, the three that stand out, I think we're a little bit delayed. Anyway, I'll just start talking.
Yeah, that's good.
So the biggest one, I remember the most impactful one at the time was I wrote my first sales page.
Yeah, that's huge.
I wrote my first sales page alongside, like when the resource came, it was my first long form sales page. So that was like, it was such a relief to not have to worry about that. And I mean, I'm still using them. Like I literally just did watched the voice module, and I wrote a voice guide for a client. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the biggest thing is just having everything there when you need it. So it's not like one specific thing. It's just whenever you need it, everything is there for you.
I love that. And I have had more than a few members go, are you in my head? This is exactly what I need right now. Okay, well, I'm going to dig into more questions, but I want to welcome Zoe. So I'm going to boot you off for a second, ladies. And I'm going to bring Zoe on because I want to say hello to her. So thank you. Hi, Zoe.
Hello, how are you?
Awesome. Thanks for joining me. And another mum who has just come back from school drop-off. We were just saying how the three of us have been juggling families around the work that we're doing today.
Yep.
That's just part of what we do. And I love the fact that there's so many parents in the group, because we all know what that's like.
Yeah, copywriting is a very flexible job for the parents. And that's actually why I started my business.
But let's dig in. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, who you write for, and how long you were a copywriter before you joined Confident Copywriting.
Oh, okay. So I'm Zoe Hurd, and my business name is Get Heard. I'm a copywriter who helps service-based business owners and e-commerce brands make sales online and grow a thriving business. I write customer-focused website content and done-for-you email marketing campaigns. Awesome.
And you're one of founding members, so you've been in the group for a while.
So you can probably better tell me when I joined than I can. Was it 2018 that you started?
Yes, I think it was, yeah. And I think you would have joined after the copywriting masterclass.
Yes. So I joined the copywriting masterclass at the moment I was launching my business, which was the start of 2017. I actually discovered Hot Copy Podcast when I was walking on my way to a job that I was not enjoying.
Yeah.
After I'd come back from maternity leave for my son when he was 1. And I remember emailing you and saying, when you open the masterclass, I'm going to join because I'm starting a business. And you wrote back, which I was actually kind of surprised about, because I think I got an email from the podcast or something like that that I knew was automated. And I wrote back and said, I'm going to start a business. And you replied and said, that's exciting, and I was like, oh, wow, she actually replied to me.
Yes, I do reply to my own email. Even now.
But when you write to an email that is automated, you don't expect it. So that was the moment that I thought, this is going to be good. So I did the masterclass, which I have to admit I still have not finished. How many years have I been enrolled?
Lifetime access is the joy.
So that's the thing. Lifetime access is both a blessing and a curse, in that I've done so much of the work, but just haven't actually completed and submitted the stuff. I'm just doing it at my own pace when I need it. And when you started Confident Copywriting, I knew, so that would have been about a year in to my business. I knew that I was creating skills and I had some clients in the pipeline and things like that, but I needed more. I needed more support, and I needed, what you don't get when you have your own business is you don't have a manager and colleagues and other people who've been doing it longer than you that you can call on when you have sticky situations or you have a gap in your knowledge. So that's when I knew I needed Confident Copywriting to bridge that gap.
Yeah, that's something Rananda actually mentioned as well, that kind of like community, people you can walk past and have a chat with, people you can reach out and ask for help. But a lot of the time it's often just doing have I got the right idea? Was I on the right track? That reality check for your own gut instincts. So that's awesome. So can you name a win that you've had since being in the group? And because you've been in the group for so long, there's going to be a few, but one big moment where you were like, this is it.
I have discovered my niche.
Yes, that is so big. And I love it.
It's huge. And I spent a lot of time, probably close to 3 years, doing a bit of everything, and kind of like, I knew what I enjoyed, but it was the situation where someone was offering to pay me to do a job. And even if it wasn't something I knew I was going to enjoy, hang on, that was a bad sentence. Let me try again. Even if it was something I didn't think I would enjoy, I did it anyway. But I've now discovered my niche. So I'm going to be an email copywriter, specifically in e-commerce. So this year is a year for massive upskilling for me, investing a lot in myself and my experience and my skills. And I have a background in retail. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, because, that's the thing. When you start a business in copywriting, you sort of go, oh, well, I've been copywriting for 1 year or 2 years, or in my case, 4 years. And you sort of think, well, I've only got 4 years experience in copywriting. But actually I don't even want to think about how long, but like 15 years or more experience in retail and sales and marketing before that.
Yes.
And the retail jobs that I enjoyed the most were, I worked for Bed Bath & Table, which is a big homewares company in Australia, for several years. I loved that job. And my very first job was in the Disney store, which doesn't exist in Australia anymore. But the Disney store was just so much fun. Toys and kids' costumes and, homewares that relate to the Disney products. So what my niche is going to be is e-commerce for online retailers in products for the home and products for families.
I love that. And I love how you've not only, like, as your business has evolved in this way, it's also contracted and expanded with your family. Because I mentioned in the beginning, like, all three of us on this call right now, and I'll bring the other ladies back so we can go full Brady Bunch style. All of us here are doing this around our kids, and we're trying to make sure that we're not working our life away. And that's one of I think the core values of the group is this is not about the hustle culture. You can get to the revenue goals that you want with systems and processes and support and investment, but we also need to check in and make sure that we're having the life that we wanted, which is why we all started this business, right? So that we can work around our families, we can have the life we want, that we can choose work that fits with our values and alignment, which was something I was asking Mirna about as well. So one thing, firstly, congratulations on the niche. It's really important. I asked the other ladies about, is there a favorite resource or a resource that's had a huge impact on you?
Oh, well, so the one that I knew about at the time that you released it, but I wasn't quite ready to implement it, I just kind of filed it away in my brain library for later, was Bree Weber's onboarding chat.
Yes.
Where she went through her whole onboarding sequence. And I remember watching that at the time and going, this is absolute gold. And I need to do this in my business, but I'm not ready right now. And now I'm ready. So actually, it was excellent timing that you released that amazing comprehensive pack of email templates last week or the week before.
Yeah.
Just dug into that this week. And I thought, Bree's onboarding, the email templates and the discussions we've been having about some of the CRMs as well. That has been a real moment for me. And that is one of my goals for the next couple of months is I'm planning. So at the moment, I'm not massively busy. So I've got a little bit of time to set this stuff up because I'm expecting by sort of August, September, when I finish this e-commerce emails course, I'm expecting and planning to be busy with big projects that need a lot of management. At the moment, everything's in my head.
Yes.
Which is okay where I'm at now, but it is not okay when I'm doing big dollar projects that are over multiple weeks and other little bits and pieces on the side as well as part of that. I don't want to drop any balls because when you're charging big rates, you have to provide a really good experience.
Yes.
So now I'm going to set all that up.
I just love what you just said is like, I'm using the time I have now rather than fretting and taking work that is under your rates, isn't suited to your new niche and stuff like that, rather than kind of panic booking. You're saying, I'm going to use this now to create a business that with systems and processes that will see me through the next couple of years, which I think is all that just really reflects your growth mindset, which is fantastic. And I just want to highlight, that session from Bree, she was a member. And, Zoe, you've done a resource that was actually mentioned on one of the other Ask a Member sessions, productive project management. And Mirna, you're going to be coming into a coaching call to talk about values alignment. And so I love pulling in members to go, you do that really well. Can you share that with the rest of the group? Because it's really useful. And I love it. It helps everyone develop their skills and their presentation and their speaking and nerves and all that kind of stuff. It just is a win for everyone, which is perfect.
Not only the presentation and sort of formal planned ones, but the informal ones as well. Like the chats that we have in the Facebook group where someone has it often starts with some little, like a little rant, like the kind of rant that you would have to a colleague if you're sitting in an office together, but we're doing it on Facebook because we are working from home. If someone's like, oh, I just can't sort this out. Why is this thing such a problem for me in my life right now, in my business life, obviously? And people can chime in and say, if your inbox is exploding and you're just losing things, here are some ways you can manage your inbox. And it becomes this whole thread about people chiming in with the different ways that they can manage some sticking point, and others are saying, why didn't I think of that? This is great. And we're all just sharing. It's like a collective kind of, what's the phrase, hive mind.
Yes.
That everyone's got a way that they do something well, but not everyone does everything well. So we're learning from each other.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Rananda, I want to ask you a question. We've talked about a few things that you really like, but what would you say is the thing that you don't get in other groups that you like about this one?
The thing there's probably two things. The first is that this is specifically about copywriting.
Mm-hmm.
So there is you can be part of business groups or friend groups and things like this, but this group specifically understands what we are collectively kind of going through in a way that other business groups or social groups don't understand. So you can ask those kind of technical questions and actually be quite vulnerable about it, because we're working together rather than competing against each other. And that's what I really like. This is a really kind of solid, safe space to ask all those questions that you might feel a bit more cautious about asking outside of it. And the other thing I like about it is that we have waves of busyness individually. As people, we have waves of busyness. We come in and out of big deadlines and workloads and things like that. And I like that this group is always here. So you can participate as much as you want. But then if you need to step back, you can go back and watch the replays. You can keep up to date on the Facebook thing, but you can take a moment to focus on what you need to do. But you're not punished or penalized or downgraded or algorithmed out or anything like that.
Yes.
You're there. And when you join back in again, there's no consequence, because people understand what real life is like. And I find this is just such a decent, collaborative, supportive group where you actually can be vulnerable and ask the questions that actually help you move forward.
Yes, that's such a good point. And, it's those, you don't have to have it all together, and no one's going to be snidey and rude because you asked a dumb question. And I love that everyone keeps asking questions, because that's a vibe that I don't like to see. So it's, encouraging us all to be, one of the rules of the group is don't be a dick. So I love that. But it's also, not every resource is right for the stage you're at in the journey. So that dipping out, you don't fall behind. You don't need to consume everything. Really takes the pressure off. Mirna, what about you? Now, I know you're getting hit by a storm right now. So let's see if the internet's going to let you reply. It might not.
Might not.
Zoe, I'll ask you. Mirna, do not worry. So Zoe, what do you love most about the group? That is filling your bucket in a way that's not being filled elsewhere.
I love that we collaborate and share leads with each other as well. And, I want to stress to anyone watching that Confident Copywriting is not a jobs group. That's not the purpose of the group, but it happens really naturally. So if someone's under the pump and they need to subcontract or outsource something, they can put a word out to a bunch of copywriters who they know are really experienced and get some help for a short period of time. Or, if I get a lead for a project in real estate, for example, that's not my specialty. So I'm going to hand that project over to someone like Amanda Paul, whose specialty is in real estate.
Yeah.
So those sorts of things just happen really naturally. And the way that we can collaborate and share information and share leads like that means that everyone gets to do the work that they love the most. Or if they want to take on that project that they are not experienced in, they can ask the person who is in that niche for help, and they will give it.
Yes.
Not in a sense of competition, or, not in a way of saying, like you might get in other business groups, well, I'm not going to help you with that because then we'd be in competition. There is enough work out there for everyone. And, if I wanted to do a real estate job, which I don't, but if I did, I could ask Amanda for help and she would 100% help me with that project.
Yes.
That kind of thing. It just happens so naturally and beautifully in this group.
I love that too. All right, Mirna, is the internet going to let you play?
Oh, Mirna's just a black screen.
Oh, she said there's this huge storm happening. Oh, that's all right.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can.
Oh, hi. No. Yes, we can hear you. I don't think the internet's going to let you play though. That's all right. You've got some, you know, often when the internet freezes on someone, it's usually in a really awkward phase, but you're freezing on some really nice faces.
I think there's a huge delay. I said that 30 seconds ago.
All right, well, let's ask a question. What is something you love about the group that is not getting filled up elsewhere? And we'll just let the delay happen and give you space to answer.
Okay. Something I love about the group, I would say the biggest thing is, I don't know if security is the right word, but like just knowing that no matter what, there's always people that I can ask. So it's like this, like a backup. Like no matter what I need, if I get stuck, if I need revisions, if I need or like feedback or anything, it's just like, yes, the security. Knowing that you can, yeah, it's just
all right, we're going to piece that together. I heard safe space, support, sounding board. We're going to put that together for you. You all know what she means, right? And she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. I do love.
We're good at filling in the gaps.
Yeah, that's right. And I love, like, it's definitely a group that I love it when people can, like, the word vulnerability has been mentioned a few times, and I love creating that, holding that space where people can go and feel a bit uncertain and get a really positive response. Because when you can learn how to move through that discomfort, the good stuff is on the other side. Good stuff in terms of support and resources, and being able to do that a little bit easier next time, which is exactly what you were talking about, Rananda, just building up that muscle of moving through the fear and discomfort of doing things new, that getting out of your comfort zone little bit by little bit, and knowing that you're in a group where people are like, we got your back, man. We absolutely are going to cheer you on and lift you up. And, you know, that kind of, do you need someone to listen? Do you need a hug? Do you need advice? And you'll get all of it really quickly from members. So I love that that's the kind of stuff that you guys are mentioning. And speaking of the vibe, because I mentioned at the beginning, and it's one thing I love about the copywriting industry, this ain't the only group in town. And, you know, when I started as a copywriter many years ago, there was no groups and no memberships and coaching, and there wasn't even really a lot of courses to choose from. And I love that that has changed. But what it means is people who are looking at their different options, it's the stuff, like you get a lot of stuff, and it's the price, because we usually make a decision. That's a big factor. And then there's the vibe. And the vibe of the group, I feel like it'll be right for some people. It won't be what other people are looking for. I ain't going to change though. But how would you describe the vibe? So 3 words if you had to choose to someone going, well, how do I'm looking at these different options. What's the vibe of confident copywriting? 3 words.
Do you want to go first, Rananda?
The first phrase with hyphens in it is down to earth. Because we can be a bit sweary and casual and funny, and I like that because it's a bit like real life. So we don't have to be all formal, and I really appreciate that. The other one, the other one is, of course, just everyone is quite expert and really, really helpful.
Yes.
Expert, helpful. So sharing those 2, us down to earth, makes a perfect combination.
Yes, absolutely. And as we've mentioned a few times, a lot of us are parents. There's members who are just starting out. There's members who have been in the group for years. in their anniversary and are reaching top milestones. And in amongst there's a certain kind of person who wants to balance the work with their life. And that's really, I think, influences how we show up, that reality of it all. And no one expects everyone to have it all together, which is nice, especially for me, because you don't expect me to have it all together all the time. Zoe, what about you?
I've got a couple of words. So I think supportive is the number one word for me in this group. What I experience in the group is that no matter whether it's a good thing or a bad thing or a hooray moment or an I need help moment, there is some support there from members, no matter what's happening and whatever you need. There's some support there, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And often it's very quick because we've got people in all different time zones.
Yes.
So, you've got, if someone in the UK is posting at 10 p.m. that they've got some question, there's someone in Australia who's awake at that time, who is ready to jump in and answer that question. So that's good. Get quick answers usually. The other vibe of the group is an experienced vibe, because no matter where I am in my journey, there are people who are further on in some aspect of their business that I can learn from their experience. And I can share my experience with the people who are new in that area of copywriting or business management or tool use or anything. And the information just flows in all directions. And then there's an aspect of the group that is fun and personal. And it's a professional group, but we really like each other and we really like hanging out together. So it's not some sort of formal, stiff, I won't name names, but like networking type group where people stand up and they hold a piece of paper and they read off the sheet and give a presentation for a maximum of 1 minute and then they sit back down. It's not like that. People are sharing, because, we're business owners, we are whole people with lives. And, life comes into business when you're a sole trader, and people are sharing things about their personal life that impact their business, and there's no judgment. People are, supportive, friendly. It's okay to share personal information because there's this, vibe of confidentiality as well.
Yes.
We're open about money conversations sometimes when it's relevant. No one's out there kind of waving dollar bills and saying, look how much money I earned to make others feel bad. If only we were all doing that, that would be great. But, throwing money around. But, it's when someone has a win, if it feels big for them, if it's a financial goal and it feels big for them, everyone is supportive of that personal goal. Even if the person who's saying congratulations on your first $2,000 month is earning $15,000 in their business, it's still a big win for the person who's at that stage. And that's that kind of personal element that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I really like that too. And I just want to welcome back, Mirna. Welcome back. The internet's caught up with you. No need to apologize. But just I want to quickly, before I ask you some questions, dial into that money element, because it's really important that we can have conversations about money in a way that isn't baggage with shame and embarrassment. So it's not a braggy money conversation. It's a, let's not lump all the emotional stuff in this, because we're just talking about numbers. And
the point of a business is to make money that fits your lifestyle, that suits the needs for your life.
And we shouldn't be embarrassed about going, you know what, I want more. So let's figure out a plan to get you more without burning yourself out or working the kid's life away and stuff like that.
And actually, on the kind of whole person topic as well, a lot of us in the group are parents, and that's why we are working flexibly and starting our own businesses and things like that. But we also have people with chronic illnesses in our group.
Yeah.
Obviously you know that, but I'm just saying for anyone who's watching, we've got people with chronic illnesses who have started their business and they are running their business in a way that suits their life and the amount that they can work around chronic illnesses and things like that. So, having support in your copywriting business for whatever your life goals and needs are, it's a great space to be.
Yes, and to have those conversations without feeling like if you don't want to get on the hustle train, then what are you even doing here? That's exactly the opposite of what we're doing. So, Mirna, asking you, we're talking about the vibe of the group in 3 words, because I was just saying that there are different groups that you can choose from, which I love, and you compare the stuff, you compare the price, but it often comes down to the vibe of the group. So how would you describe the vibe in 3 words?
Probably like family, I would say, is like a big one. I think like they're just I don't know what the other people said, what the other women said, but it's just like it's such a tight group. Like we're so supportive of each other, and I would really like, it feels like an online family. Supportive. I think I've said that word like 100 times already.
Yeah, I love it. Say it again.
And just fun. Like it's, you know, we don't take it too seriously. Like, yeah, we all want to make money, and that's like the main goal that we're working towards. But it's not like in some online spaces where, you know, the only discussion is, you know, 10K months or 6-figure years, or like, yeah, we want to have fun, and like all of us, we're mums, and we're trying to do this around kids, and we're not going to stay up past bedtime, and well, sometimes, but not going to stay up and do all this extra stuff just for the sake of, like, you know, some figure that some online marketers said that we needed. So it's so fun, and we're just such a tight little community. I love it.
I love it. Thank you for mentioning it. 2 people mentioned fun. We're fun.
You can tell your kids now that you've got proof that you're fun.
I'm going to turn it into funny, because, you know, I do that. But, you know, on the calls we have together, the kids are coming in and the dogs are jumping up, and you said we're a really tight-knit community, which is very true, but also very welcoming. So if you're looking at the group, one thing, it feels anti-clique. You know, it's just come on in, there's more than enough room at this table, and we're actively trying, you know, welcoming you in and helping everyone feel more confident along the way. So fantastic.
And with that, sorry, I just want to add to that as well. It is like if someone's in a niche, and, you know, like say even me or even Zoe, like, you know, we change niches. Well, I mean, I changed so many times while I was in that group, but, you know, if we're like, hey, this is what I want to do, the people that do it, they're like, yeah, message me, or like, yeah, I'll tell you, or send it to me. That's what I specialize in. There's literally never a time that's anyone's been like, oh no, like I can't share that with you. Like that's what I do.
Yeah.
So it's really like, it's so supportive.
I love that. And it's been really funny because I've had a few conversations with my husband where he's gone, these kind of conversations feels like industry colluding. Is this level of support allowed? Doesn't feel like you guys should help each other that much.
But it works.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Zoe, you look like you were going to add something.
I was just going to say, you know, when everyone collaborates and works together with this kind of information, it's not what Simon is suggesting about, you know, price fixing like the petrol companies do or anything like that. This is about, you know, things like encouraging new copywriters not to charge $50 for a blog post that's going to take them 5 hours to write on an unnamed, you know, job platform. It's, you know, this is about saying you can do more than this. You're worth more than this. Your skills are excellent, even though you're new. It's about lifting everyone up for everyone's benefit. This is not about, you know, trying to rot a system or swindle clients or anything like he might be suggesting, because he's in the business. But,
that's exactly right. That's his corporate hat, by the way.
That's corporate language. But we're talking about helping people, you know, grow their confidence and lift their rates from like barely scraping by to earning a wage that they can probably live off. We're not talking about price fixing. Everyone's going to be charging $500 an hour, because that's not what we're not into that. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's quite a transformative group. So what I've noticed is people who were in the calls like a year ago are now keynote speakers in massive kind of conferences, and their level of confidence has like massively increased, or like when Bree launched the onboarding thing, all of us transform from that. So we are all able to go to our clients and offer something, all of us, a little bit better than what we were doing before, or much better. But each time all of us are changing a little bit because one of us makes a leap forward and we all benefit from it.
That is such a good point, Rananda, and I love that. I clearly love the group, but I love hearing this because that's exactly what I want for everyone. And I love how the generosity and support and the fun and the reality and the kindness and the safety of it all, because that's what I want. I'm like a mama bear for you all, which I know is a bit sad, but that's how I feel. So I just want to say thank you to you all. You're amazing, and I really appreciate your time today. Is there anything else you wanted to add? You don't have to, but if there's anything else you wanted to say before I boot you off, now's your time. Just jump in.
I just want to say, Belinda.
Yeah, all of you. Awesome. I love it. So Rananda, Mirna, Zoe, go.
Belinda, I came across you from the Hot Copy podcast also, and I remember your personality coming through on that, and I kept on coming across you, and it just always feels like such an honor to be able to interact directly with you through these types of groups, because I think you've got such a diverse and interesting background that you bring all these different experiences into the group. I just want to say a massive thank you to you for everything that you do, and it is just an absolute pleasure to be part of what you're creating here.
Oh, thank you. All right, Mirna, go.
I'll piggyback off that as well. And I just remembered I also found you on your podcast. But I don't know if people would realize the level of support you give in the group and how often you are in there. And I don't think anyone would answer a question without you chiming in at some point. And it really is like, it's not just you holding the group and kind of leaving us to sort of help each other. Like, you're really, really hands-on. And if anyone else has listened to the podcast, like, just to know that level of support really is there and on basically everything you need. So
it's almost to the point of being problematic for me, but I can't stop.
I don't want to say that, but
no, I joke, but it's important to me because I know what it's like when you join a group. You're like, well, I kind of joined for you, and I want the community. Having the community support is fantastic, but it's also very important. I love the smallness of the group because it means I get to know everyone and I get to really dial in to a more personal support. That's important to me. So thank you for mentioning that. Zoe, did you want to wrap up?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, to anyone who's watching, who's thinking about joining Confident Copywriting, even if you don't know what your goals are for the next 12 months, if you're a working copywriter and you're committed to running your business for the next 12 months, join Confident Copywriting and come with all of the questions that you've got. Whether you've got goals already defined, that's great if you do. But even if you don't, and your goal is just to run a business and see where that takes you, do it for 12 months. You will be amazed at the transformation that you receive from Belinda and from the group in that 12 months. It will be like you're a totally different person in a good way. And your business will go from being, haphazard and floundering to being, systematized and solid and charging bigger rates with confidence. Or, if you're at a different stage, you go from, running a successful business and things are going well, but you think there could be more. You could be clarifying your niche. You could be, taking on bigger projects than you thought were possible. You could be nailing those sales calls every time, getting to that. You're already at the 80% mark, getting to the 100% mark of your business. So no matter what stage you're at, give it 12 months and you will be amazed at the transformation that you can have in that time.
I'm just going to copy that, put it on the sales page. Thank you very much. I love marketing.
Can I just piggyback off that again?
Absolutely. I love it.
But that's something that would also, so how Zoe was saying, you can learn different things, or if you don't know where you're going or what your goals are, I mean, there are people in the group, one that, specializes in case studies, one that specializes in like, I think real estate product descriptions, or, like, or just content or SEO. So if you want to join, it's not like you have to do websites or emails or sales pages, like any sort of writing that you want to do. Most of the stuff that we do is like the back end, the business stuff, the, working with clients, how to charge more. All of that can be used for like all sorts of different kinds of writing. So even if you don't know exactly what you want to write, get in there and just like see what other people are doing, see what's possible for writing. And yeah, you can kind of discover your business through that.
Yeah, that's such a great point. Discover what's possible and get that shortcut to all the super professional documents. But I'm going to talk a little bit about all that kind of stuff, but I want to let you get on with your day, ladies. You've been very generous with your time. You've dropped the kids off. The day is about to begin. Have at it. But I want to thank you again for joining me today. So I'm going to boot you off and you're welcome to close up. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the group. So thank you again. And I'll see you in the group, of course. Bye-bye. I'm glad we got the internet sorted. Hang on. I'm bringing Zoe back and I'm getting it going. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. So when, they've been talking about this journey, all three of them was, saying the roadmap, the journey, where you start from, where you want to get to, the roadmap of a confident copywriter. You start off as an aspiring copywriter. That's when you're often maybe looking to get out of your day job. You move into becoming a working copywriter where you're getting regular business and it is happening. Then you move up to becoming a growing copywriter. And this is often where the growing pains start to happen and systemizing becomes really important. And then you move up to becoming a scaling copywriter. And the group actually has a roadmap to take you from aspiring, working, growing, scaling copywriter, because you need to focus on different things at each stage. And you get a roadmap to join when you join, which is incredibly useful. Like when you join, you do the quiz, you find out your stage, you get a checklist. There you go. These are the specific things that you should be working on right now. And then each month there are resources. So you get something every week. We have 3 weeks of resources and then a group coaching call. And look, let me just bring this up. I've got a fancy banner. I've got to show it. It's open on May the 6th. And every week you get a resource. It could be a template. It could be a guide. It could be about, it could be, a fireside chat. It could be an expert interview. It could be a copy hot seat. And there are 5 pillars that I base the content around. There's writing. There's marketing. There's back-end systems. There's front-end admin. And then like client and project management, and there's money. So when we're talking about the weekly resources, they're centered around those things. And I like to touch on each of those pillars really regularly, and all the content tags to different stages in the roadmap. Not every resource is relevant for you right now, and it's all tagged so it's easy to search. And the idea is, don't get overwhelmed with all the things. Get a roadmap that gets you through where you are and helps you keep leveling up. And it's a shortcut. It's a brilliant shortcut. Now, there's actually a different tier as well. It's called the CC Implementer. And this is for copywriters who want to do more things, but they just never seem to have the time. So this is where you get co-working sessions, planning sessions, goal setting, extra support from me, and fortnightly accountability, where I'm like, how are you doing with those goals for this month? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to reset? What do you need to push back? Because it's really important to me that all the members live their life outside of their work and don't burn out and miss what is happening around them because they love what they do and they want to do it all the time. That's me, right? I spent so many of my early years as a copywriter working all the time because I love the work, but I always felt I was behind. And that really accelerated when I have kids. I'm behind. And that is the exact opposite of what we focus on in confident copywriting. So the other thing, when I'm talking about a roadmap, I'm running some free webinars. If you want to explore this idea, if you're like, actually, I don't quite know what my goal is, I'm doing a free webinar on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, running it live 3 times in different time zones to say, if you want to earn $2,000 a month, $2,000 a month regularly, this is what you need to focus on. If you want to earn $5,000 a month regularly, this is what you need to be doing. If you want to earn $10,000 a month, this is your focus. And it's about lead generation and marketing. It's about products and services and clients, and it's about mindset. And that will give you a little taster of the kind of things you can dig into even further in confident copywriting. So if you head to my website, copyrightmatters.com, you'll see on the Learn tab, and here is the URL as well, Path to Profit registration. I'm going to be giving you a taster for the kind of journey that you can go on as a confident copywriter. If you're interested in the group, you can either wait till Thursday when it opens up, or you can get on the wait list where I'll just send you some emails directly about the group. So it's open 6 to 11, so only for less than a week. It's one of my favorite spaces to be. It's a small, intimate coaching group where you get lots of help from me, a fantastic community. Like when I was talking to the crew from the UK, they were like, yeah, the stuff's great, but I stay for the community. And so when you're looking at how you can get to where you want to go faster, with a roadmap, with support, with lots of templates. I mean, the templates the ladies mentioned are things like discovery call template, my proposal template, a copy brief template, a copy deck template. I've actually got a process checklist that will take you from your first inquiry through to the end of the project, and every email you need to send on the way. 6,500 words of emails that you don't have to write, and you get instant access. And there's follow-up templates and turning work away templates. There's guides on how to set up a wait list and resources, training on how to interpret your finances, so there's just so much to help you set a really strong foundation as a copywriter and as a business owner. And then of course we have lots of writing resources. How do you do review mining? How do you do voice of customer? How do you write great bullets? And so for a lot of members, it's filling the gaps in their writing skills as well. So I'm going to say goodbye because I've just gone over the hour. I want to thank Zoe Hurd again, Mirna Segal, and Rananda Rich, and their details and their websites are in the blurb above or below or around this video. So please check them out. If you have questions, I didn't check this with them, but go ahead and get in touch with them and see. Well, they'll tell you exactly the same thing of what they said here, but I hope you've got a sense of the vibe of the group, the community, the support, the safe space that it offers, and also all the stuff. There is lots and lots and lots of stuff. And if you're interested, if you've got questions, hit me up. You can drop them in the comments or email me, DM me, whatever. I'd be happy to tell you more about the group. So thank you for sharing this hour with me, and thank you to my Aussie members, and I'll see you later this week for the Path to Profit webinars.